The courtroom was packed. Cameras, reporters, and fans filled every corner, but all eyes were on one man, Jay-Z. He walked in calmly, dressed sharp, face unreadable. This wasn't a concert or a deal. This was a federal courtroom. And in front of him, on the defense bench, sat Diddy silent, still watching. The prosecutor stepped forward. "State your name." "Sean Corey Carter," Jay-Z said. Even hearing that name in court sent chills through the room. "Did you ever witness behavior from Mr. Combs that could be important to this case?" Jay-Z nodded. "Yes, and I stayed quiet for too long." He spoke of exclusive parties controlled. Secretive, young, nervous men entered through back doors. "Once," Jay-Z said, "I saw something I can't forget. Diddy with a young man. It wasn't right. The man didn't seem in control. Diddy saw me and didn't stop. Just stared, like daring me to speak." Jay-Z stayed silent until now. "Because the truth has weight," he said, "and silence made me part of the machine." He described how Diddy didn't use fists, he used fear, blackmail, hidden cameras, private footage of stars and execs. He kept everything video, files, conversations, insurance, Jay-Z said. He showed me one clip of a famous actor, smiled like it was normal. Why didn't people speak up? Because if you did, you'd lose your career or worse, be exposed. Real or edited, it didn't matter. He had power. Jay-Z revealed more. A young songwriter who tried to speak out vanished from the industry. A female exec who asked questions fired. Anyone who got close to the truth was erased. When asked why he finally spoke, Jay-Z said, "Because I built my name on legacy, and staying quiet would make that legacy a lie." The biggest bombshell? Diddy's vault, a fireproof room in New Jersey, full of sensitive recordings. "I was once asked to deliver a drive to send a message. I refused. That's when everything changed." Jay-Z didn't shout. He didn't cry, but his words crushed decades of silence. And this wasn't the end. It was just the beginning. In that moment, a truth-teller with first-hand access to the empire no one dared challenge stepped forward again. The prosecutor leaned in, voice sharper now. "Mr. Carter, let's talk about what you didn't say back then. You described threats, blackmail, secret recordings. Yet you stayed close to Mr. Combs for years? Why?" Jay-Z leaned forward, voice low. "Because I was part of that world. I benefited, access, connections, power. Being close to Diddy opened doors that stayed shut for everyone else. But that access came with a price. You had to look away. And I looked away too many times." The room froze, not out of respect, but shock. Everyone was now forced to face the truth. The biggest names in music had been hiding behind silence. "Was there a time," the prosecutor asked, "where you were asked to be directly involved?" Jay-Z nodded. "Yes, more than once. I was asked to help distract the press, promote fake stories, bury real ones. Never illegal on paper, but always unethical, always to protect him." "Did you comply?" "Once," Jay-Z said, "and I regret it." He paused, swallowed, then continued. "There was an R&B artist. She was about to go public. She said she was drugged at one of the parties. Diddy's team panicked. They asked me to post a fake collaboration. Tag her, make it look like she was still part of the brand. I didn't ask questions. I just did it." He looked down. 2 weeks later, she disappeared. Her lawsuit vanished. Her socials wiped. No manager. No label. I never saw her again. Gasps rippled through the courtroom. Even the judge shifted uncomfortably. "Did you ever reach out to her?" Jay-Z's voice cracked. "No, by the time I thought about it, she was gone." "Do you believe others were involved in similar cover-ups?" "Without a doubt. I could name artists, producers, journalists. Some were victims, some were accomplices. But all of them became complicit." "Mr. Carter," the prosecutor said, stepping closer, "have you ever seen any of the recordings yourself?" Jay-Z nodded. "Yes, one in particular." The courtroom leaned in. He showed it to me at his penthouse in New York, just the two of us. He called it insurance. He paused. It was a Grammy-nominated singer. He was clearly high, barely aware. A man was in the room with him. Things were happening. Things I can't forget. Jay-Z's voice dropped. When it ended, Diddy looked at me and said, "Now you understand why nobody crosses me. What did you do?" I left, walked 5 blocks before I realized I left my car behind. That night changed everything. There was a long, haunted silence. "Have you seen people physically harmed around Mr. Combs?" Jay-Z nodded, yes, more than once. He shared the story of a young artist, new, talented, curious. He asked too many questions. Then 2 days later, he was in a car crash. In the hospital, his jaw wired shut. He scribbled something. "Don't trust the driver." After that, he vanished, blacklisted, gone. The jury looked shaken. The defense had stopped taking notes. "Did you try to protect anyone?" "I tried. But when you're up against someone who owns every room, every phone call, every narrative, there's only so much you can do." "Were there celebrities who tried and failed?" Jay-Z nodded. "One was an actor, respected. Side Diddy had footage of him from one of the hidden rooms. He had no memory of that night. The next thing I knew, he left the country. Came back, never spoke about it again. This isn't just politics, is it?" The prosecutor said, "This is about fear." Jay-Z didn't blink. He gave people what they wanted: fame, money, access. Then he took everything else. Their secrets, their silence, their freedom. The room was deadly quiet. And the worst part? Jay-Z added, everyone knew, not all the details, but enough. Enough to ask questions, enough to walk away. "But we didn't, we protected him," the prosecutor paused. "Did Mr. Combs have secret relationships with men?" A thunderclap. Jay-Z nodded once. "Yes," gasps exploded. "Were they consensual?" Jay-Z answered carefully. "Not always, some were coerced. Some too drugged to understand. This wasn't about preference. It was about control." The air in the courtroom tightened. "Tell us what you saw." There were nights when Diddy invited male guests after parties, young, often unknown. Some came in through side doors, some never came back. Others left looking broken. Jay-Z locked eyes with the prosecutor. One night, a kid barely 20 came to a studio session. Hours later, I saw him leave limping, disoriented. I offered him a ride. He refused. "Just got in a cab. I never saw him again." "Did you confront Mr. Combs?" "Once." I asked why he always blurred the lines. He laughed and said, "Everyone wants something. I just give it to them before they ask. That way, they owe me." "Some of these were predatory?" "Yes, some were criminal." The judge leaned in. A juror wiped away tears. "Why speak now?" Jay-Z looked up. "Because I helped protect a man who used intimacy as a weapon, because silence became currency. Because if I stay quiet now, I'd become just another brick in the wall that kept his victims silent." He paused. "I'm not proud of the years I stayed quiet, but I won't stay quiet anymore." "Do you believe he should be held accountable?" "Yes, not just for what he did, but for how many people he destroyed to protect who he pretended to be." The judge called for order. But the courtroom had already changed. Outside, cameras rolled. Social media exploded. Jay-Z confirms decades of secrets, a blackmail empire exposed. Industry legacy in flames. But the real moment didn't come from a headline. It came from the gallery, where a woman stood up, her face hidden under a hat, voice trembling. "Thank you," she said. "Thank you for not letting him win." Jay-Z didn't speak. He looked at her, and in that glance there was pain, and truth, and finally recognition. He stepped down not as a celebrity, but as a man who chose justice over silence. The myth was shattered. The reckoning had begun.